what if mankind invented teleportation? So as Ben mentioned, I looked into the energy requirements of teleportation. So my assumption, which is a pretty big assumption, you can disagree with this one, but I feel like the way teleportation works is you have to convert mass into energy, and then that energy can be what is moved, at the speed of light to get where you're going. And we get to use the smartest equation in the world, E equals mc squared. And so my assumption is that in order to teleport something, you have to convert into energy, and to do that, you'll need as much energy as mc squared. So that means it's going to take a ton of energy to transport things. So for 1 kilogram of mass, it would take 8.98 times 10 to the 16th joules of energy. To put it into perspective, in 2015, the world consumed 109,000 terawatt hours of energy, which is 3.95 times 10 to the 20th joules, as opposed to 10 to the 16th. So we have energy. We produce about 1.08 times 10 to the 18th joules per day, which, put it all together, means we can only transport about 12 kilograms of mass per day if we use all the energy that we produce in the planet, just to teleport things.
So what you're telling me is that my assumption about the amount of energy that this would take is a little bit naive, actually.
That would be more efficient than a plane.
Maybe not as efficient as a plane, it turns out.
Maybe not quite efficiency. And there's even bigger problems because, like I said, that's using all the energy. But that's assuming you can put all the energy in the world in one place in your transporter.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the case. I assume that you have to have, you're powering it locally. So the largest power plant, the biggest generating capacity, is the Three Gorges Dam in China, which can generate 22,500 megawatts of power. And so this whole dam, if you had it for a whole day, just charging up, you could teleport 21.7 grams of matter, which is, I suppose in comparison, is about the same weight as a mouse. Not even a rat, a mouse.
It's like the amount of sugar in a piece of candy.
It's also, thanks internet, the equivalent weight of 5 dice, so you could play the most expensive Yahtzee game ever if you are so inclined. And so that's not, you could do things with that. You could probably, transport, some papers or flash drives or data. You could use it in some kind of business sense as, a very expensive overnight type shipping deal.
Mm-hmm. So the distance isn't a limiting factor in your version?
No.
Okay.
Because you're just converting it into, you're basically making it go as fast as the speed of light.
Right, yeah. Okay.
So you convert it to energy, and then distances doesn't even apply anymore.
Right.
Based on my vague understanding of relativity. And so that is no bueno for moving. And, people obviously are just out of the question. So you can move little things around. And probably that's only at the Three Gorges Dam. The Three Gorges Dam, as you might imagine, is a natural feature of the world. There's these 3 huge rivers coming down, and they put up their, generators and their big dam to capture all that wave energy. But obviously, not everywhere's got big old rivers. So if it became widespread, the best energy that you can get anywhere is going to be nuclear power. So the Palo Verde nuclear power plant in Arizona is the largest nuclear power plant in the United States. It's got 3 reactors and can generate a total amount of energy equal to about 4,000 megawatts compared to the 22.5 of China. So in a day, it can generate enough energy to transport 3.8 grams of matter, which is either the weight of 1 dice or 2 playing cards. So you can play either of those fancy games.
We can eventually play poker, bit by bit, day by day.
So these aren't too practical for too many real world purposes. But the one thing I think you could do with them, because I was looking at I was trying to look at tiny tech, if you could do just a whole bunch of data or stuff like that. And I think the most practical solution is to use it for spycraft, where you can get those really tiny spy drones, the ones that either are modeled after insects and things, because those will be under that 3 or 4 grams, and all it is the tiniest circuit board, a little camera, and wings or propellers of some sort. So I think the way they would be used would be all our big countries would set up their Three Gorges Dam, and then China would just send out 1 million spy drones all over the world in hard to get to places.
That's a comforting thought.
Yeah, especially it's super comforting because they could probably just fucking do that already without teleporting them. They just spent an extra day.